Today I'd like to talk to you about the auction fees and mortgage planner spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is a difficult challenge for many students, probably the hardest exercise in the class. Hopefully this lesson will clear it up for you. The steps for completion are to open the file, and enable editing, and then I want to save the file. And I'm going to save it as the book told me. Now I want to click on the auction fees sheet located at the bottom. I want to click on cell 2, C2, and I want to change the name of that cell to auction fee. I want to go over to G2, change the name on that to payment fee. Notice I click on G2, then go up to the name box, click on that, and change it to payment fee, and enter. Now the date updated, the book says that we want it to refresh every day when it's opened up. So what we want to do is we want to put the formula for determining today's date, which I know is equal to today, open and close parentheses, and enter. Now the today function has no arguments, so we just want to say today equals today and open and close parentheses. The parentheses tell Excel that this is a function. Those arguments normally go to that function, but in this case today doesn't have any. Now the book says that I need to add 5 to the payment due date, so what I'm going to do is just do equals A4 plus 5, and now I'm going to go over to cell D4. Notice that B4 holds the date that's 5 days past the auction end date. You want to do this so that you don't have to manually enter the numbers, the dates here. You also want it to work for you because then it'll handle the end of the month or any of the leap year, leap day problems. Now we want to figure the auction fee, which is the sale price times the auction fee percentage. So what I need to do is I need to type in the equals C4 times auction fee and this gives me 10% of $14.99. So this looks correct. Now I'm going to type in the payment processing fee, the same type of equation. It's the sale price, which is stored in C4, and it is multiplied by payment fee, which comes from this cell. And that looks right. So I want to go over to net auction earnings, and that is equal to the sale price minus the auction fee minus the payment processing fee. So we have equals C4 minus D4 minus E4, enter, and this number looks right. Double check your work before you go too much further. Make sure that this number is smaller than this number. Save your work. Now the difficult part. The book says that if the net auction earnings are $20 or less, put all of the net auction earnings into the checking account. Otherwise, put half of the net auction earnings into checking and the other half into investment account. Let's handle these two criteria at one time. let's click on G4, and I want to click on the Formula tab, which brings me to the Function Library section of the ribbon. I want to click on Logical, and I'm going to scroll down to If. This brings up a wizard for me. This will help me fill in the if statement. The logical test is going to be determining whether F4 is less than or equal to 20. So I'm going to type that in, less than or equal to 20, and I'm going to go to the value if true. If this is true, I want all of F4 to go into this cell. Otherwise, I want half of F4 to go into this cell. I'm calculating that as F4 times 0.5. And I'll click on OK. Now this number, the 3484 net auction earnings, is greater than 20, so it should show 1742, which is exactly what it's showing here. Now it needs to move the other half of that money into the investment account. So what I want to do is I want to click on H4, and now I'm going to click on the logical again. I'm going to click on if, and now we're going to go through the same type of test. If F4 is greater than 20, then I want to put F4 times 0.5, otherwise put 0. And we'll click on that. And now I want to add these two cells together, and they should equal something very close to this cell right here. If not, check that your wizard is correct. Make sure that your if statement is correct. Now I need to go ahead and fill out the rest of this page. So I will click on B4 and turn that cursor into the little plus sign and drag it down till I'm done. I'm also going to want to grab these values and take them down too. So I'll click on D4, I'll hold the shift button down, click on H4, and now I'll turn that into the little square and drag it down, and that'll fill in all those blanks for me. Now be sure to check that your information is correct. The $21.25 is splitting up correctly. The $12.75, all of it's going into the checking account, none of it's going into the investment account. This tells me that I'm doing it correctly. Now the statistics column is simple. We want to take the average sale price. The sale price is determined in this column C. So what I want to do is I want to go to, I know that it's average, so I'll hit equals average, and then I want to give it the cell range. So I'm going to click on, I'm going to say C4 colon C26, and close parentheses. That colon tells tells the program that that's a range of cells, C4 to C26, all of these. And let's click on the maximum sale price. We're going to do something very similar. We're going to say equals max of C4 colon C26, close parentheses. Now let's actually look at this to make sure that we've got this correct. Does this number exist anywhere in this range? And the answer is yes, it exists right here. So I know this value is correct. Let's add this as minimum price, which is min, and I'm going to say C4 to C26, close parentheses, and let's check to make sure that $8.99 is indeed the lowest value here, and it is. It's located right on the 13th row, and so we know that these functions have been added correctly. I will leave you to fill in the average auction fee and average payment processing fee yourself. Now we're only partway done. We need to go into the mortgage analysis sheet and click on that. While I'm here, let's save the document again. Alright, we're going to calculate the estimated monthly payment and the total paid over the life of the mortgage for this loan. It's $180,000 borrowed at 8.75% annual interest rate, and the term of years is 25. This is a financial function, so we're going to click on B7. I'm going to make sure that I'm clicked on the Formulas tab. In the function library, I want to find financial. I know that this is a payment, or PMT. The book says so, and my experience tells me that. The rate, this calculation is the rate, but it's based on the month. So if I click here, it gives me B4, but I need to know what that is by the month. So the annual percentage rate divided by 12 gives me the monthly percentage rate. If I go into NPER, that's the number of payments, and it's cell B5, but that's actually the number of years, so I need to multiply that value by 12 to get me the number of months. And the present value is actually the amount borrowed. We'll click on that to get B3 into this calculation. The future value, or FV, and the type are left blank for the purposes of this. And we'll go ahead and click on OK. Now double check that this payment amount is something reasonable. It should not be $250,000. It should not be $3.50. It should be something in this category. Now, if that works, and if it's something close to this number, and it looks legit, we'll go ahead and we'll pick up the total paid over the life of the mortgage. The total paid over the life of the mortgage is the monthly payment times the term in years times the number of months per year. That, simply put, will be equals B7 times B5 times 12. Now this number needs to be greater than this number. It shouldn't be more than 2 times that, or 3 times that number. So this should be correct. It should not be $2 million. It also should not be 50 cents at the bottom. So these numbers should be correct. Let's go ahead and we'll copy them over, and we'll copy them and highlight them both. Do a Control C, drop over here, Control V. That's in the wrong spot. My apologies. That's not the right. We want to do these separately with Control C and Control V. And now double check that your work looks correct and save the document again. Now again, make sure that we've filled in all the blanks. Drop back into the auction fees. This looks correct. You'll have filled these in. If this is all done, go ahead and save this document, close out Excel, and submit this back into Chapter 9, Project 1. I hope this helps. Have a great day.